gonna be some changes made. I can't keep on doing what I've been doing these days. Better figure out something, things are looking grave. There gonna be some changes made.
The great Congress from the west side of the city, Chicago, Danny Davis. Danny?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. You know, there's nothing in the world like following a Baptist preacher. Nobody can tell a story like a Baptist preacher. And those of you who didn't know it, Bobby part-time serves as a pastor of the beloved church. But let me just say, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for your tremendous leadership. Speaker Madigan, it's good to be here with Senator Emil Jones, President of the Senate. And it's certainly a pleasure to be here with my good friend and former colleague. We spent many days together on the floor of the House of Representatives, and I was pleased when he became governor of the state of Illinois. Rod, it's so good to be here and to see you. I want to thank organized labor, not only for sponsoring these breakfasts, but I really want to thank organized labor for the tremendous role that it has played in the evolution and development of this country. For many of us who now have what we call middle-class status, I guarantee you, had it not been for the impact and the influence of organized labor, we'd still be working for pennies wages. We would not have fringe benefits. We would not have the health care. We would not have the safety and protection in the workplace. So I ask you to join with me in giving organized labor just another great round of applause for all that they do and all that they mean. You know, the good thing about saying things is that practically everything has been said. But we have a saying when we have a press conference, and Illinois has the best congressional delegation in the whole United States of America. There is no delegation in the country better than that of Illinois, led by Dick Durbin. And he won't have a problem getting reelected, none whatsoever. But I'm thinking of how much better it's going to be when we get Debbie Halverson to join us, and when Dan Seals comes on board, and when we get a Callahan in our group. I mean, we are fired up. We are ready to roll. And let me tell you, just having a Democratic majority has meant so much. I was thinking of a bill that we passed that the president signed the other day that's going to bring some more money to Kennedy King College, Malcolm X College, Olive Harvey College, Chicago State University, Robert Morris College, East West University. All of these are some we call PBIs, predominantly black institutions qualifying for a new pool of money. We are geared up and ready to go. Illinois is the greatest state in the union, and we've been on a roll, absolute on a roll. Just think about it. Both of our baseball teams, Mr. Mayor, have been hovering around first place all year. We sent some of our basketball players out to Boston. Doc Rivers from Maywood is the coach. Tony Allen went to Crane High School from the west side, my district. Kevin Garnett went to Farragut, where my wife graduated from high school. And so we sent them out there and they won a world championship. Now we've got Barack Obama. We've got Barack Obama. And I agree with all of those who were wondering what Hillary Clinton was going to do. I knew what Hillary was going to do. I knew that she was going to do exactly what she knew that she had to do, because you see, Hillary spent some time in Arkansas before she went to New York. And Arkansas is where I come from. And in Arkansas, there are certain things we do. We even got songs. In Arkansas, we say it ain't nothing but some cabbage raw when you get coleslaw. And so we take whatever it is that we've got, and we make do with it, and we make it work. Now, what do we need to do? We need to go to Indiana. We need to go to Wisconsin. I never will forget being in Indiana at a church with Senator Emil Jones, and the pastor was getting ready to introduce us, and he introduced me first. And I says, Mr. Pastor, I want to thank you for introducing me first. And I'm just glad to know that you believe in beauty before age. But Emil and I, we had a wonderful time traveling through Indiana that whole day, and we didn't do it just once. I've agreed to go to Michigan, and the folks in the 7th District are going to Michigan just as often as we can go. We took busloads of folks to Indiana, to Indianapolis, to South Bend, all over the place. Those of us in Illinois, we can make the difference, especially in the Midwest. And so I ask you to join us. I am remembering, I look out and see my good friend Lula Ford. Lula grew up in Arkansas also. And Lula knows that we have a lot of homecomings and reunions, and that we go home to visit. We go home to see about our folks at home. And I remember, Reverend Meeks, one year I went, and my wife, Vera, was with the AKAs that year, and she didn't go. And so we had this party after we had done what we were there to do, and I ran into a friend of mine. And of course, this friend happened to be a girl. So she was a girlfriend. And we decided to kind of relive a little bit of our childhood, to revisit, Roland, some of the places that we've been. And so we walked out, and we had to go across a creek. And fortunately, they didn't have bridges when we were there. Bill Clinton hadn't become the governor. Hillary hadn't been there, and they still had this creek. And so I walked across. I was wearing my sneakers, but she had on her high-heel shoes, Lula, and she slipped and fell off in the creek. And so as she fell in the water, I heard her holler. She says, "Danny, Danny, save me." So I reached down and grabbed her and pulled her by her arm, and her fingernails came off. She went back down and said, "Danny, save me, save me." So I grabbed her by her legs and pulled, and just as I got her out, her toenails came off. She said, "Danny, please save me." Well, you know, 3 times and you're out when you're drowning. So she went down again and she hollered, "Save me." I grabbed her by her hair. And of course, her wig came off. So, Mr. Governor, as she was steady hollering, "Save me, save me," I looked down and said, "Honey, if I'm going to save you, you got to stick together." And let me tell you, Illinois, if we are going to elect Barack Obama, if we're going to do all of those things that the governor talked about that we can do for this great state, I can tell you, Mr. Governor, I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, I can tell you, Mr. Mayor, I can tell you, Mr. President, And I can tell you, Illinois delegates, Democrats, citizens of Illinois, if we're going to save America, we've got to stick together. Thank you so much.